E.N.D here, day 7 and last day for the spoilers of Dungeons & Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realm. If you thought that on the last day no spicy cards will be spoiled, you were wrong. Let's start. Eyes of the Beholder, 4 and 2 black, it's an instant, target creature get -11/-11 until end of turn. Plate Armor, 2 and 1 white, artifact equipment, equip creature +3/+3 and has ward 1. Equip for 3, this ability costs 1 less to activate for each other equipment you control. Divine Smite, for 1 and 1 white, it's an instant, target creature or planeswalker and opponent controls face out. If the permanent is black, exile it instead. Monk of the Open Hand, for 1 white, it's a 1/1. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Monk of the Open Hand. Remember this particular card because we're going to mention it later on during the spoiler video. White Dragon, 4 and 2 white, it's a 4/4. Enters the battlefield, tap target creature opponent control. That creature doesn't tap during its controller next untap step. Ray of Effablement, for 1 black, it's an instant, target creature -4/-1 until end of turn. If the creature is white, it gets -4/-4 until end of turn instead. Rust Monster, for 2 and 1 red, it's a 2/1. First strike, sacrifice an artifact, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Wild Shape, for 1 green, it's an instant, choose 1 until end of turn. Target creature control has that base, power and toughness, becomes creature type and gains that ability. 1/3 Turtle with Hexproof, 1/5 Spider with Reach, 3/3 Elephant with Trample. Rare cards, True Polymorph, 4 and 2 blue, it's an instant, target artifact or creature becomes a copy of another target artifact or creature. Yes, it's a 6-drop, but it's an instant, therefore you can play this during your opponent's turn to create an extra blocker. Skeletal Swarming, 3 and 1 black and 1 green, it's an enchantment. Each skeleton you control has trample, attacks each combat if able, and gets +X/+0, where X is the number of other skeletons you control. At the beginning of your end step, create a tapped 1/1 black skeleton creature token. If a creature died this turn, create 2 of those tokens instead. Lair of the Hydra, this is one of those lands. If you control 2 or more other lands, it enters the battlefield tapped. Tap for 1 green, X and 1 green until end of turn, it becomes an XX green Hydra creature, it's still a land, X can't be 0. Eye of Vexna, for 2 legendary artifact, enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 2 life. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2, if you do, you draw a card and you lose 2 life. Hand of Vexna, 3 legendary artifact equipment. At the beginning of your combat, on your turn, equip creature or a creature you control named Vexna gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hands. Equip, pay 1 life for each card in your hand, equip 2. Eye of Vexna and Hand of Vexna go hand in hand with the Book of Vile Darkness. If you tap and exile the Book of Vile Darkness, Eye of Vexna and Hand of Vexna, you can create Vexna, a legendary 8/8 black zombie god creature token with Indestructible and gains all triggered abilities of the exiled cards. Mythic cards, yes, we have more mythic spoiled on the last day of this spoiler season. Asarak, Lord of Unlife, 2 1 black, it's a 5/5 zombie wizard. Enters the battlefield. If you haven't completed Tomb of Annihilation, one of the dungeons in Dungeons & Dragons, return it to its owner's hands and venture into the dungeon. Whenever attacks, for each opponent create a 2/2 black zombie creature token unless that player sacrifices a creature. Inferno of the Star Mounts, 4 and 2 red, it's a 6/6, it's a legendary creature dragon. The spell can be countered flying and haste. For 1 red, gets +1/+0 until end of turn. When its power becomes 20 this way, it deals 20 damage to any target. Pump this legendary dragon and you can deal 20 damage to any target, including your opponent. Mordekainen, 4 and 2 blue, it's a 5 loyalty counter. Mordekainen, new planeswalker, +2, draw 2 cards, then put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. -2, create a blue dog illusion creature token. This creature, power and toughness are equal to twice the number of cards in your hand. -10, exchange your hand and library, then shuffle. You get an emblem, you have no maximum hand size. My personal opinion about this particular planeswalker, it's not really a bad planeswalker. Yes, it's a high mana cost, 4 and 2 blue, 5 loyalty counter, but the +2 ability of drawing 2 cards and put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library makes you possible reach that -10, the ultimate, quite fast. The ultimate, you exchange your hand with your library. If you have very few cards in hand, you risk losing the game, not having any card to draw, so be aware. And let's end the spoiler season with another new planeswalker. Grandmaster of Flowers, 2 and 2 white, it's a 3 loyalty counter, Behemoth, and new planeswalker. As long as Grandmaster of Flowers has 7 or more loyalty counters on him, he's a 7/7 dragon god creature with flying and indestructible. +1, target creature without first strike, double strike, or vigilance can't attack or block until your next turn. +1, search your library and or graveyard for a card named Monk of the Open Hand. I told you, remember that particular card, Monk of the Open Hand, in the start of this video. Reveal it and put it into your hand. Let's stop for a second and discuss this card. It's a 4-drop 3 loyalty counter planeswalker, and we know how strong 3/4 drop planeswalker can be. When it hits the battlefield, it can defend itself, and you also can search for a card, Monk of the Open Hand, or retrieve it from your graveyard. I think this is a quite good planeswalker. That was the last card for this particular day 7 and last day of the spoilers of Dungeons and Dragons Adventures in the Forgotten Realm. I thank you all for tuning to my channel for this particular spoiler season. I am proud and happy to say that I am one of the few YouTubers that covers all spoilers of this fantastic set. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.